From the Netherlands, please welcome Brouwer.
Two US-born players go head-to-head on Stadium Court here in Houston, but only one represents the Stars and Stripes.
Kovacevic.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to day one of main draw action from the Fire's Seraphim & Co. US Men's Clay Court Championship. It's an ATP 250 event taking place at River Oaks Country Club in Houston, Texas, and along with former ATP player Barry Cowan, my name is Candy Reid. Well, once again, this US clay draw is absolutely stacked with homegrown players. Both Alexandre Kovacevic and Brouwer were born in the USA. Brouwer actually spent his first 2 months right here in Houston before moving back to his parents' native Holland. As for Kovacevic, well, he's born in New York, represents the USA, and on paper anyway, Barry is the slight favourite to win this one.
Yeah, good afternoon, Candy. Good afternoon, everyone. It's always a difficult one, isn't it? It's so early in the clay court season to gauge people's levels, but I've been impressed with Kovacevic and his rapid rise up the rankings in recent months. He seems someone who is fairly confident in his own abilities.
Had a really good US college career, did Kovacevic. 5 years, played for the University of Illinois, which is quite the tennis tradition, GVRAM, and a host of others played for that university. Two-time All-American, graduated in 2021 with a finance degree, so he's got something to fall back as well. As the two come to the net, it's Simon Canavan, our Australian umpire for this one.
If you're stopping play for a ball mark inspection, please make sure that's nice and clear. Shot clocks are in the side corners there. For the towels, if you could use the plain black box on this side of the court and the one with the white tape, please, Alex. TV changeovers as well. Any questions? No? So I have tails here and heads. Heis? Heads? Tails it is. Serve? Yep.
So Alexandre Kovacevic wins the toss, chooses to serve. A round one match here in Houston, Texas on a beautiful day. It's Alexandre Kovacevic against Brouwer of the Netherlands. And the winner of this one will have the great privilege to take on the huge serving John Isner, last year's beaten finalist to Riley Opelka. And that was quite a tall matchup, the tallest in Open era history, Isner against Opelka. Opelka still unfortunately coming back from injuries, so not here to defend his title. So the second match of the day on Stadium Court. Barry has already talked you through Daniel Galan's win. He is the first player through to round two. Who will join him? Will it be the home favourite, Alexandre Kovacevic, the 24-year-old turned pro just a couple of years ago. 6-footer, 1m83. He's got a beautiful, Barry, one-handed backhand.
Yeah, he's a very stylish player. And, his big breakthrough came last year, initially with the Challengers, then in Seoul. But yeah, he's a shot maker. Rapid rise up the ranking. And you feel, if you share that view, Candy, that there's more to come.
Are you saying he's going to break the top 100 very soon?
Maybe it's this week.
Yeah, it could well be. Standing at number 101. Career high for him, and it's been another fabulous year. He's won 18 matches at all levels already in the span of 4 months. And that includes 2 Challenger titles. The first in Cleveland, in which he enjoyed a win over Wu Yibing, and then also won a Challenger title in Waco, Texas. So he's familiar with this part of the world. So he's working on transitioning and drop shots with his coach. So he's not the best at transitioning, but I'm sure we'll see quite a few drop shots in action today on the red clay here in Houston. Well, let's turn the focus on the Dutchman, Brouwer.
2 minutes.
27 years old, 3 years older than his opponent, 6'3", 1m91, a left-hander, born right here in Houston. 3 wins on tour, 2 defeats, won just over 400k. And he's got a really good win over Holger Rune this year, indoors in Rotterdam. That's the surface he's been most successful on.
Throw the ball, please. Thanks.
There's a look at his ranking, currently 123 in the world. Not too far off his career high of 114, set back just a couple of months ago.
He played very well last year. Nice, Brouwer. That's where it kind of all started. Back home in Houston for the Dutchman. It's a bit of a mouthful, that.
He beat Feli Lopez, didn't he? And JJ Wolf get to the quarterfinals here last year, so he's got points to defend. And the good news as well for all fans of Brouwer is that he's won all 4 of his first round matches in ATP Tour events. These two meeting for the very first time at the very top level, Barry, but they have met at a challenger level a couple of years ago, and it was a very close encounter with Brouwer winning 7-6 in the third in Champaign, Illinois. Is there any indication of what's going to happen today?
Oh, personally, no.
30 seconds.
Champaign, was his university, so
That's right.
he should have won at home, right? Kovacevic. But yeah, I think both men are much stronger players now than when they met, around about 18 months ago.
And just concluding the warm-up, there's the left-handed Brouwer against the right-handed Kovacevic.
End of warm-up. The ball's coming down. Can you just grab that ball and throw it down for me? Yes, please.
Well, a warm welcome to day one, main draw action from the Fires Seraphim and Co. US Men's Clay Court Championship. It's an ATP 250 event. Barry Cowan and me, Candy Reid in the commentary box for this one. Alexandre Kovacevic against Gijs Brouwer. USA versus the Netherlands.
I was looking at his clay court pedigree, and let's be honest, it's very inexperienced. Kovacevic. So in that sense, Brouwer kind of ticks that box, Candy, but
30 love.
I've seen a few interviews with Kovacevic. I like his honesty, I like he's just got something about him.
It's a very confident stride, doesn't he? Says he loves the crowd. 5 years of college tennis will do that for you. Learn to play to an audience, so the bigger the better as far as Kovacevic is concerned.
Yeah, very interesting take, actually. He's good friends with JJ Wolf, and he said that, you know, they were going head-to-head in American college. I think he said JJ Wolf was 22-0 and he was 19-1, and he said that was pressure. He said on the ATP Tour, you used to losing every week.
But not necessarily at the college level if you're that good. A really good start for Kovacevic, and we're going to see Stevie Johnson, aren't we, with one of the best college records later on. He'll be in the final match of the night against Facundo Bagnis later. A double champion, Stevie Johnson. But these two, of course, going for their first title. For Kovacevic, while making his debut here in Houston. Brouwer had an excellent ATP debut right in Houston here last year. Got all the way to the quarterfinals.
That's
It's the left-hander serving at love one. Clay court playing pretty quick, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, when you're playing on the clay and it's hot and the ball's flying, it's always that much quicker than if it's damp and dreary, like you would get in a spring day in the UK.
Suspect quite a lot of those Brouwer serves are going to go into the backhand of the one-handed American. He's got those long levers, has Brouwer. 6'3", 1m91.
One game all.
So quick service games for both men. Brouwer comes into this encounter having lost his last three. Fell to Benoit Paire, the wild card in Miami Masters qualifying. As for Kovacevic, he went down to Francisco Cerundolo, whose younger brother is playing here this week. But overall, I think Kovacevic will look back at the Miami Masters with fondness. He managed to get a lucky loser spot and then beat Yao Munar in the first round, main draw action. It's a nice paycheck.
Let. First serve.
That's good play. That's the sort of point you would see from someone who wasn't comfortable at the net. Recognising as soon as Brouwer hit that chip, he could just ghost in.
He's got a swashbuckling all-court game, hasn't he?
Let. First serve.
The question we don't know at this point is how well he's going to perform on the clay. First match on the surface this year. Played 8 in 2022, won 4 of them.
Yeah, in truth, this might only be the, if you think about it, he might play in the challenges in America, but I can't imagine him playing the qualifying of the Masters events. Obviously, the French Open qualifying will be something that might be on the radar.
This time last year, Kovacevic was playing in challenges all around the world. Sarasota, Tallahassee, Savannah, Tunis. And moved on to the Surbiton grass. try and get the fans' support behind him early on. And a good hold in the end. It's 2-1. We're on serve, early stages of this round one encounter.
Yeah, take as many as you want.
I don't think the cut-off is out for a couple of weeks, is it, for the French? So there's a really good chance that he will make it.
Yeah, top 100, usually the holy grail, isn't it? And that's where everyone wants to get to. That means automatic entry into the majors. 128 spots available.
Yeah, it's top hundreds. You've got to be very unlucky. You'll always have a few protected rankings, but I think if you are ranked inside the top 100, there's a very good chance. And I think that's big. The next step, really. Kovacevic, he taught, you know, the difficulty he had in the US Open, not getting the wild card there.
Alexandre Kovacevic putting in a good performance so far in his debut here in Houston, an ATP 250 event. We're on serve 2-1. Brouwer by far the more experienced, turned pro in 2016.
Sort of come up to, when you think of the great Dutch players that have been, a lot of them actually are fast court players. So Brouwer is sort of going against the Dutch grain.
Best results, though, Barry, have come this year for him on the indoor hard courts. Did really well in Rotterdam, didn't he? Beat Marc-André Hussler, and then that excellent win over Holger Rune, although, of course, the Dane did retire at 4-love down, having lost the first set. Brouwer eventually beaten by his countryman Talon Griekspoor.
40-love.
Then in Marseille came through qualifying and beat Eliasima before losing to Grigor Dimitrov. Since then, it's playing a couple of challenges and then the Miami Masters.
Yeah, Brouwer.
As Kovacevic goes for the backhand down the line, misses long. 2 games.
2 games all.
No rain expected this Monday. That's the same for Tuesday as well, but could be in trouble Wednesday, Thursday and Friday with thunderstorms in the forecast. That's a beautiful off forehand. Kovacevic pressing things from the baseline.
15-love.
Yeah, generates easy power, Kovacevic. Look at that.
Had a couple of those, and both have been absolute beauties.
Carlos Alcaraz, eat your heart out.
It's not only the touch, is it? It's the disguise. Absolutely exquisite.
Well, it's such a huge shot now in the game. I mean, I do feel you've got to have it because of how strong the players are, that they're having to force their opponents further back because they then have to sit a little deeper to give them times to defend. So if you've got the drop shot, I think it was something that was a little bit lacking yesterday for Sinner against Medvedev.
There's a really good article on the ATP website from Craig O'Shaughnessy talking about how difficult it is to do anything off the Medvedev backhand because he keeps it so low. And Sinner wasn't quite right, was he? Not 100%.
30 all.
But Medvedev, 4 titles already in 2023. Says it's his best start to a season and the numbers don't lie. Fantastic serve from Kovacevic. A good time as well. Both players just having a look at the mark. No electronic line calling, of course. Going the traditional method.
Yes. Are you a fan of the old school?
I like it on clay, the old school. I'm warming to the electronic line calling on other surfaces. Great piece of work from Kovacevic there, going back behind a couple of times. A little bit of a tricky game, but comes through it unscathed. It's Alexandre Kovacevic, the American, with a 3-2 lead. So can I take it, Barry, by your scathing sounds that you're not a huge fan of the electronic line calling?
Oh, I wouldn't say scathing. No, I mean,
You both have water to drink?
I mean, I do.
You need water? Are you good?
I think it's important for the future of the sport, actually, that you do have lines people, because, you know, future umpires start out as lines people the majority of the time, and you need officials at challenges, you need officials at futures. I think it's really important.
You're not going to have electronic line calling at many venues, are you, unless they're really on the ATP or WTA tours. Not cost effective at this point. The Ilkley Challenger won't be having them in the next few years, I doubt. Welcome back to the Fires Seraphim Co. US Men's Clay Court Championships. Historic event, the 21st edition here in Houston. Final will be on Sunday, the 9th of April. Wildcards have been given to Stevie Johnson, Jack Sock and Fernando Verdasco, who we're going to see coming up next. Just 39 years young is the Spaniard. He's going to be facing Jason Kubler in a must-watch first-round match. But right now, we're on Stadium Courts, where it's the Dutchman Brouwer serving at 2-3. How did you cope with the heat and humidity in your career, Barry?
Well, the heat was okay, the humidity was okay, but both together, as you know. Well, you were in Atlanta, weren't you?
Tennessee for 4 years for college tennis, and then Atlanta, both of which are very, very humid.
Yeah, I mean, in the summer, I mean, and that's where some of the toughest conditions can be. America in the summer, in Atlanta or Washington.
I think the Atlanta tournament is arguably the hottest of the year. It's pretty unbearable watching, let alone playing.
And I think as well, maybe that was what happened in the first match. If you are a little bit below your best physically, it just catches you out. Where you can sort of get by if you play indoors or play in a sort of a fairly cool day.
We saw Zhang not particularly feeling his best, did we, against Galan in the opening round match here on Stadium Court. And the humidity will just suck all the energy right out of you, make you feel an awful lot worse.
Obviously, the advantage of playing on the clay as opposed to the hard courts that the heat doesn't reflect off the court surface.
It can add a good 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit difference.
3 games all.
That's good play from Brouwer. He just goes about his business impressively, efficiently.
Had a break point thus far. 18 minutes on the clock. 3 games all. Between them, they've dropped just 1 point behind the first serve. So the serve has been a little different, of course. Kovacevic now right at the 50% mark, having won 4 of 8.
Chip back and he missed. He had in the back of his mind what happened right at the beginning of the match when he just ghosted in. Kovacevic.
Like he changed his mind, didn't he? He was going for the drop shot, which has been so successful so far, but instead pushed it long. This could be a little bit of an opportunity here for the Dutchman. As long as he possibly could. Brouwer made his move.
30-all.
Oh, that was a great serve, wasn't it? Didn't deserve that.
30-40.
I think he misjudged it. Yes, it clipped the top of the net, but the fact it was going to be short, I was surprised he had that extreme grip on the forehand, not the chopper. He was committed and there was no way out of it.
So facing the first break point of the match, Brouwer will get a look at a second serve. And it's gone long, a bit of a sloppy game from the American. He's been broken.
4 games to 3.
Set now very much in Gijs Brouwer's hands. The cool, calm and collected Dutchman sits down with a 4-3 first set lead. That really hadn't been coming, had it?
Yeah, it's amazing how sometimes a breaker serve can just come out of nowhere. Just a little bit of luck, which it was with the net quarter. Sort of, I wouldn't say a bad decision, but a bit of an error in terms of the grip change, and then you tend to panic a little bit, as he did on the break point. He's a tough player, Brouwer. Hard-working.
Brouwer coming into this match with 7 wins, 10 defeats on the season. All 7 of those victories on indoor courts. 2022 was a magnificent year for the Dutchman. 47 wins, 28 losses. You can't replicate match success. Kovacevic, well, he also won more than 40 last year.
Time.
So the new balls are coming out, and Alexandre Kovacevic will try to see if he can break back straight away. A bit of a sloppy game from the 24-year-old American. And now under pressure here against the world number 123. Brouwer serving with the new balls.
Love.
Went superb behind his first serve. That's a lovely combination using the sliding wide serve.
30 love.
Good footwork to get the forehand into play. He's just got down on himself a little bit here, Kovacevic.
40 love.
Looks like he's feeling a little bit sorry for himself. He needs to pick it up. Brouwer is now 10 from 10 behind the first serve. That's called commentator's curse.
15.
Or just good timing to get it out there before the run breaks.
Still got 2 more chances though to get this done before it gets complicated.
$40-30.
There's a chance for Kovacevic to get back into the game. This is the backhand cross court. It's a hole for Brouwer, and he's now 1 game away from wrapping up this opening set. So after 25 minutes, Alexandre Kovacevic, man who's won challenger titles in both Cleveland and Waco, Texas this year.
15 love.
3-5, starts with an ace.
$30 love.
And another.
The ability's there, his all-round game.
$30-15.
I think this, for me, is a case this set where Brouwer's just mentally been stronger.
Hasn't really made any silly errors, has he? Just done everything well enough. And taking his chances when they've come.
30 all.
Third ace of the game. Another winning forehand, this time up the line from Brouwer.
Yes.
To try and finish things off here.
He doesn't react. It's just like that poker face.
Well, it's the right play, isn't it? Just didn't need to be quite so cute about it. It's got a tremendous touch. Kovacevic, you've already seen how good he is at the net. It's an error and a set points for Brouwer. Oh, that is absolutely stupendous. When he's good, he's very, very good.
Yeah, it's one of those sets, if you the highlights, you'd think that Kovacevic is the one leading 5-3, but it's not always the blistering winners wins sets, especially on the clay.
With the one-handed topspin backhand is Brouwer. Quite enough dip.
And actually, as that happened, he didn't need to play that topspin. He could have just waited because he committed very early, Kovacevic.
We know on clay, once you commit, there's no real turning back. So he gets over the line, 3 aces in that game, but still it was a toughie. Kovacevic lives to play another game in this set, but now he has to try and break the Brouwer serve. So Brouwer has had a set point, not converted, on the Kovacevic serve. Now the Dutchman will try to finish it off on his own terms. You a fan of the clay yourself?
As a fan or as a player?
A player.
Actually, I really enjoyed the clay court season. I mean, I wasn't much good on it, but I actually enjoyed it. It was a challenge, and in some ways, I think you can view it. And there are obviously some players that love the clay and are excellent on it. I think you can also view it as sort of a training block, you know, ahead of a very busy summer. I think you can physically you can get stronger. You can work on aspects of your game.
Well, here's a man who looks very comfortable on the red clay of Houston, Texas so far. Brouwer. Serve for the first set at 5-4. Hasn't faced a break point himself. Has broken once. But now will the pressure tell? Man from the Netherlands, born right here in Houston. It's the perfect start. So important, isn't it, to get off to a good start in the crucial games.
13 all.
Almost cover the backhand hit. And of course, Brouwer can go to the forehand. I think got to play the percentages here if you're the American.
Oh, he's just pulled it wide. A rare unforced error from Brouwer.
15-30.
Good move from Kovacevic.
Just wonder, Candy, whether he's got a little bit tight here. That's come out of nowhere.
Nothing tight about that serve. Still got work to do. First ace for Brouwer. And another excellent serve gets him out of trouble here. It's now won 14 of 18 first service points.
For Nadal. And it keeps working for Nadal, so why wouldn't Brouwer do it? Just lefty serve into the right-handed, single-handed backhand.
Can't think who you're thinking about there.
Yeah.
Well, what a comeback from 15-40.
6 games to 4.
Brouwer wins 4 points on the trot. That first serve doing him very well indeed. And the Dutchman, the 27-year-old, has the first set in the bag. 6 games to 4.
Then hold back these two. Quite a pace that opening set. Not too many rallies. Interesting set of tennis. There's enough there for Kovacevic. Played some good stuff. 5 aces. Hit his fair share of winners. Likes the drop shot, but just the consistency from Brouwer was the key there. You know where he's going to serve. You know what he's going to look to do. Just had the added experience really did show in that opening set, not just on the tour but on the clay courts. But it wouldn't surprise me in the next 45 minutes if we're sitting here at a set apiece.
Time.
Stadium court beautifully swept for the second set of this round 1 encounter. Alexandre Kovacevic about to get us underway.
Second set.
Coaches Brian Garber and also his dad Milan, who's the consultant coach Dean Goldfine as well, formerly of Sebastian Korda fame, and many, many others at the top of the US men's game. to see that happen a little more in the second set. Attack the backhand, perhaps, of Brouwer. Coming behind it.
It does feel like he's got another level or two there, if he can reach that, Kovacevic. Really interesting though, listening to talk. It was in the middle of last summer, the Challenger in Indianapolis, when he had 6 match points to win the title. If he basically won that title, he would have got the wild card to the US Open.
It's a bad miss.
And he went on a difficult period. No, it's not surprised when you suffer a tough loss like that.
Can totally take the wind out of your sails, can't it? Easy for standers-by, passers-by to watch. Say, come on, get back to where you were, but it's a huge knock. It's the Stars and Stripes blows beautifully in the wind.
That's a heavy forehand from Brouwer.
40-30.
So Kovacevic does hold the first service game of this second set. And want to try and keep his nose in front, unlike in set 1 where he had that little drop, didn't he, at 3-all. And that was the break of serve that Brouwer needed.
It's okay.
As we know, the margin's so fine in this game.
Even a match where you can win more points than your opponent, you still can lose. I remember speaking to a player, I'm not going to mention their name, but asked the question, how are you going to win? His response was, we'll win more points.
Not necessarily.
Well, the last time he had played him, that wasn't the case.
Got to win the right points at the right time, don't you?
15 love.
Something the top players are experts at. They just don't miss first serves, they don't miss returns. It absolutely matters.
Love.
Kovacevic did have a couple of break points right at the end of that first set, not able to convert.
A good change-up serve there.
Other than that, he really hasn't been reading, has he, the Brouwer first serve very well. Doesn't look particularly comfortable either when pulled out wide to his backhand.
Brouwer.
Comfortable service holds, 1 game all.
1 game all.
If you're not feeling particularly comfortable on the first serve, Barry, would you just go to the chip, try and push the ball back down the middle and start the point that way? Or keep swinging freely and hope it comes?
I mean, I think a lot depends. I mean, 2 factors. I think that whether you're comfortable hitting the chip, whether you feel that you're good enough mover, because to chip it, you've also got to move well.
Because of the next shot.
Yeah.
But
you know, playing a left-hander, just looking at his record, he has actually beaten his last two lefties that he's played in Martira and Manarino. You know, the angle is coming in differently. And often it's the debate about Tsitsipas on the return. Why doesn't he chip a little bit more? It seems to make sense with Tsitsipas because he moves so well.
He tends to like to hit over it, doesn't he? Start the point that way. And for some players, it's a rhythm thing. They feel like if they get to the chip, then they might never feel the rhythm of hitting over the backhand again.
I think what Kovacevic could do is just stand a lot further back. You know, it's not as if Brouwer is going to serve and volley, so doesn't need to worry about that. And you know, the advantage of standing a little further back gives yourself time, and you can get a good rip on the ball, like Nadal does, like Medvedev does.
Faults.
Just misses chance of a sixth ace. Oh, what a stunning backhand up the line. Had a little bit more time. Comes around the outside of the ball.
40-30. Left, first serve.
There is that big ace. To slice it down the tee or go wide. Little shake of the racket towards his team. Alexandre Kovacevic sits down with a 2-1 second set lead.
Time.
It's Brouwer serving at 1-2 second set, having grabbed the first set 6-4, just one break of serve involved. Looking very comfortable out here, last year's quarter-finalist. Alexandre Kovacevic says he loves a crowd. He might do very well here to get them behind him. One break of serve could well be all he needs.
I think you got to just move a little further to your left.
15 more.
And actually, as we said, you can afford to stand a little deeper as well, so that maybe covers the middle serve. You've got time to move to your right.
30-15.
I don't have the,
unreturnable.
sorry, Candy, I don't have the actual numbers, but 8 out of 10 to the backhand. Feels around about that number.
Yeah, I'd see at least 80% going to the
40-15.
Kovacevic backhand. And what a brilliant service game that was. Brouwer up in the ante, just slightly with the threat of Kovacevic getting the crowd behind him. That's what he must do, silence the home supporters. 2 aces in that game alone.
Love.
He's got some big victories in him on the hard. I think it's very much a work in progress on the clay. Kovacevic, the ability to hit through opponents.
Oh, that's the difficulty with clay. Split step was a fraction too late. He got caught moving forward. Kovacevic in a little bit of bother now. Just some forehands. We'll see if Brouwer can make him pay. Concerned look from the Kovacevic camp. What a fantastic backhand. Really unleashed. It's a real thing of beauty, isn't it, the one-handed backhand?
Yeah, it looks an elegant shot.
Well, a very timely one. Man standing just outside the world's top 100. Good work from Brouwer, moving Kovacevic all around the court.
Yeah, that's where he definitely, for me, has the advantage in terms of movement. It looks more comfortable when he's sliding, when maybe he's in defence and trying to turn it into attack. amount of matches he's played on the clay as opposed to Kovacevic. And I think that was wide, but I don't think he stopped play. It's too late now.
No, you played on. I can't do a ball mark. I can't do a ball mark inspection now. It doesn't matter. You still moved, and then you saw that it was going to be a winning shot, and then you came down. Advantage.
Oh, that is painful, isn't it, for Alexandre Kovacevic? Just showing his inexperience on this surface.
Absolutely right from the umpire. And I was surprised he didn't stop him in. It was the far line, so it's tough for the umpire.
He did hesitate, didn't he? But then didn't fully commit. And Brouwer certainly makes the most of his opportunity. You can see what Alexandre Kovacevic feels about that.
No leads, 3 games to 2.
Another sloppy game from the 24-year-old American, and that could be curtains for him. Brouwer in front, a set and 3-2.
You're not going to condone the racket break, but you can kind of understand the frustration. I mean, the 2 times he's got broken was the penultimate point in the first set was the net cord, and he served and volleyed. There was, well, it's more his own error. I mean, I think an experienced clay court player is challenging that, is stopping play, is circling the mark.
And he's got to just believe in his convictions, didn't he? Because he did hesitate, took a good long look, and then decided to play on.
Because it didn't look close.
No. Yeah, just huge inexperience there from Alexandre Kovacevic. No doubt he'll learn. But it will be a painful loss if it does conclude that way. Kovacevic on the live rankings is a career high 100 right now. So the more experienced K-court player, Brouwer, has made his move.
Time.
Slightly fortuitous. I'm sure that he'll admit to that, but he'll take it. This was the incident in the previous game. Kovacevic just before that was upset because he hadn't called a ball that he believed to be out. Played on, and by then it was too late. So the racket got a bit of a thumping.
Well, if that got in, that might have been another racket getting a thumping.
Level of difficulty on that shot was rather high for Brouwer. Perhaps a little bit over-ambitious on the forehand. And he's missed another.
Love 30. Come on. 15-30.
Big serve has got him out of trouble so many times in this match. Oh, that's absolutely superb. Does like to play with patterns. And this time nails the forehand.
30 all. That's the serve.
Goes right out of the top drawer, a little piece of magic.
This might just be the best shot we've seen today. Little flick there. Shows how strong he is. But then that, yeah, it's a low percentage shot.
Recommendation from Barry down the middle?
Yeah, or back, you know, you can understand him not going back cross because it's into the forehand, but trying to take that shot on down the line off a left-handed serve. Got such a small target to hit into.
And he's missed that one, the easier shot. Just take it out on the racket once more. It's been a match full of missed opportunities, really.
Yeah, that's what it feels like with his attitude, that he felt this was an opportunity. And expectations increase when you feel there is an opportunity.
Brouwer, meantime, continues to do everything just well enough. Saves the break point. Surges into a 4-2 second set lead. Not surprisingly, is it? He's advanced to at least the second round of all the tour level main draws he's played. Starting off here in Houston last year, where he got to the quarterfinal, to the second round at the US Open. And this year it's been quarterfinals in Rotterdam for Brouwer and second round in Marseille. And it looks like that continued run of wins in the first round of ATP Tour matches will continue for the Dutchman. 2 games away now.
Fifteen love. Dirty love.
Well, you just missed it.
40 love.
Catching the return a little bit late. Beautiful ace down the tee to seal the game. So it's a hold for Kovacevic, but once again he's got a break and time is running out. Kovacevic making his debut here in Houston. Will it go down as a memorable one? Can he come back from the brink of defeat? We've seen some magic, haven't we, from the New Yorker? But this man's just been so solid, not broken thus far. He's faced some break points, but held his nerve on all of them.
It's just been a thoroughly professional performance from Brouwer. Keeping the basics.
A little relief from the Houston sun under those umbrellas.
Time.
This man has been extremely cool all afternoon. Nice Brouwer. 2 games away from a place in the second round, and he does have points to defend after reaching the quarterfinals here last year.
15
Mine
love.
goes back to this time last year when he was in the qualifying. He actually thought that he was out. Brouwer playing Diaz. I don't even remember it, Candy, and the umpire changed his mind. Diaz thought he'd won the match. It's amazing how sometimes your career, your fortunes can change from good fortune, some bad fortune.
You sound like you're speaking of experience there, Barry.
Well, I think most tennis players have it. And that's why you just never know. That's why just compete for every point. You know, lesson here for Kovacevic, who emotionally I think this has been a tough one for him. I think he's really struggled, but
5 games to 3.
yes, at the moment it's not looking good, but you just never know. That's why he's just compete to the bitter end.
Brouwer won that match against Diaz 4-6, 7-5, 6-2. That was to qualify, then took out Feli Lopez and JJ Wolf 6-1, 6-1. Eventually by champion Riley Opelka.
Yeah, the umpire had actually called game, set and match last year, so he's actually celebrating.
Wait, please.
He came up that little magical backhand flick cross court a couple of games ago. Can't manage it down the line. Kovacevic's parents were both pro table tennis players from the former Yugoslavia. That's perhaps where he's got that little flick from. That's a shot he hasn't handled well today.
15-30.
Led him to get broken in the first set. Similar shot to that one. It is possible, isn't it, to serve and volley on the clay, but you've got to do it at the right time with that perhaps kick serve, giving you a little bit more time to move forward.
Edged on.
30 all.
It's Kovacevic.
Looks like Alexander will check the mark. Not quite sure if it caught the edge of the line or not. Accept the out call. Pushing that forehand into the Dutchman's backhand. Game point. Try and make things a little bit more interesting. A man who's already won 18 matches this season. Oh, that's just a little bit of brain fog. Routine put away. Or what should have been at least. A little bit more inexperience showing through from Kovacevic. There's that beautiful backhand again, hit right through it, so deep into the corner.
I mean, in terms of elegance, it's right up there.
Simon Canavan hasn't had too much work to do. Once in a while to get it down off the chair. And an ace seals the deal. It was a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. And now the time has come.
5-4.
Brouwer will try and finish this off in the next game. So what's the game plan?
Well, I mean, first point so often sets the tone. I think if you're Brouwer, serve into the backhand. I think if you're Kovacevic, expect the backhand.
It's exactly this scenario, wasn't it, in the first set, with Brouwer serving for it.
I just feel this match is won and lost by a player just accepting what's in front of them in Brouwer, and a player who in Kovacevic who just it's felt like a huge match for him in terms of the opportunities, and he's just not really handled it probably as you would expect given the amount of sort of tennis he's played recently.
Well, he's faced 3 break points as Brouwer, and he's saved them all.
Time.
Let's see what happens as he attempts to serve this match out and reach the second round here in Houston, Texas for the 2nd straight year. Played a very solid match, few unforced errors. Hasn't been anything earth-shattering by the Dutchman.
15 more.
That body language is not going to give his fans a lot of hope.
That's a much better point, and it starts with an excellent return from Alexandre Kovacevic.
15 all.
That's an excellent change up with the serve, wasn't it? 2 serves to the backhand, as you suggested, Barry, and then 1 to the forehand. Got to keep the opponent guessing. Oh, it's exquisite.
Well, it was
much
a
room,
really
was there?
no, it was a really good pass, but also you wonder what Brouwer was doing. This is totally out of keeping with how he's played and how he is as a player. Is he just feeling the pressure? Get the ball back in court, Kovacevic. Oh my goodness.
Just caught in 2 minds, perhaps. Not quite trusting the rolled backhand, going with the slice, and caught it very late indeed. Again, some negative body language, and it's the match points for Brouwer. Saving some of the best for last. Alexandre Kovacevic attempting to prolong his Houston debut.
Well, it's this type of tennis, it's sparkling. And he's probably, part of him saying, I find that easy, why can't I do it again and again?
1 match point saved. And another one to come. Hasn't particularly handled the serve to the backhand very well, has he? A big miss hit from Kovacevic, and Brouwer perhaps just slightly in two minds because of the point previously, similar vein to this one earlier in this game where he was beating up the line, just didn't quite know what to do with it. So it won't be a third match point, but it will be a break point.
Well. You wouldn't have thought it was break point by his body language.
He's just about made it. Good work from Brouwer.
That's a really good point. I thought that first serve could have been just long. And he kept his composure. The half volley actually was not an easy shot given what we've seen in this game.
A really good, accurate serve. The ball moving away from his opponent brings up match point number 3. Brouwer continues his love affair with this city where he was born, the Dutchman. The second year into round 2. He takes out one of the US hopefuls with a nice straightforward win. A few nervous moments at the end there, but got over the line and wins 6-4, 6-4 in 1 hour and 15 minutes.
A really solid professional performance there from Brouwer. Interesting to see the mentality that he brought to the court as opposed to Kovacevic, who did get frustrated. He felt that that was an opportunity to win a match, but it's not just shot making that wins tennis matches on the ATP Tour. You've got to be able to just dig deep, and Brouwer did that brilliantly.
So Alexandre Kovacevic walks off a beaten man in his debut here in Houston. Certainly had some opportunities there. Just one break of serve in each set was what undid him. So one of the 10 United States players is out. Meantime, Brouwer is moving on.
Congratulations. I feel like we saved the best tennis for last there. A fantastic final game. What was going through your mind as you were trying to close that out?
Well, I noticed he was very tough in the end. He kept making more returns. I was serving okay the whole match, but in the end I didn't get any free points, so I really had to work for it the last game. But yeah, kind of lucky that it went my way.
Gijs, last year coming into this tournament, you were ranked 361 in the world. You are now not far away from breaking into the top 100. At 27 years old, what do you feel like is clicking?
Yeah, tough question. I just somehow found a way to play my own game, got more confidence in my own game, and of course results starting here last year made a big impact on the way I was playing. So yeah, I'm just happy to keep that line going.
And for those fans who may remember, you qualified for your first ATP Tour event right here in Houston last year, reached the quarterfinal, and you're back in the second round. What is it about this place that brings out your best tennis?
I don't know, I just feel very comfortable here and I love the tournament. So yeah, it's great to be back, and I hope to show some more good tennis.
Well, we're happy to have you. Heist Brouwer, we'll see you in the second round.
Blair Henley, as always, asking the excellent questions. This time to Heist Brouwer, who's made it through to round 2. He will sign the camera. And Barry will tell us how he got over the line there against Alexandre Kovacevic. Little smiley face from GB.
In terms of the numbers, didn't lose serve, saved the 4 break points. Only served for the first set and also only served for the match. As he said, it did get a little twitchy there in the end, but the right man won. Just a very consistent professional hour and 15 minutes from Heist Brouwer. Those service numbers, very good. Kovacevic, there's ability there, there's talent. Sometimes these are the matches actually you can learn a lot from in terms of how to deal with your emotions. Heist Brouwer dealt with his brilliantly.